It has been about a month since the release of the official Sea of Thieves cookbook. And spoiler alert, it's great. Not only does it have great recipes, it also adds some new lore, a bit of a story, and even some concept art that we have not seen before. So in this video I will not only give you my opinion and show you some of the recipes I tried out, I will also tell you about the other details this book has to offer. I want to start this video off by explaining what you can expect from this cookbook. Sadly, it's not a book that tells you how to eat coconuts whole, nor will you find a recipe how to make your own blunderbombs. Instead, this cookbook tells the story of Chef Hendrik, the brother of Merrick, who went on a culinary voyage bringing his expertise to every tavern in the Sea of Thieves. This story is told to us by Larina, who is our guide throughout this cookbook. This also explains why Larina can be found on every outpost, because she is trying out the local cuisine. Even the import of ingredients like rice is explained by the Merchant Alliance and Larina's black market connections bringing those in. I swear this cookbook has done more for the lore of the game than Rare did this past year. And I always make it out to be a storybook that has some recipes thrown in, but it's really the other way around. This is a cookbook first and foremost, and it's also one of the best I have ever tried. I also want to quickly mention that I absolutely love cooking myself. Together with reading and playing video games, it's my favorite thing to do. Just look at this awesome bacon pie I made, or this simple yet flavorful pasta. But back to this cookbook. Recipes are categorized into their regions, so you can expect some short dishes for the Devil's Roar or plenty fin tacos for the Shores of Plenty. All of the dishes I tried have been absolutely amazing, and I have good hopes for the ones I still want to try. But these meals might not even be the best thing about this book, since it also features a lot of different cocktails. We have, for example, the Crescent Isle Sunrise, the Mango Tango, and of course the traditional Sea of Thieves Grog, which is apparently made with dark rum and coconut water. I personally am a big fan of cocktails, and I often drink them while playing Sea of Thieves.
You're drunk again? Are you drinking grog again?
And as everyone knows, that doesn't make you a drunk, but a pirate. And I have made grog in the past, but by just switching out water for coconut water and using coconut palm sugar for your sweetener, you can really elevate this simple drink. And if you pause the screen right now, you can make this amazing grog yourself. I feel a bit naughty for just sharing this, but hey, that's what a pirate would do. A lot of the dishes feature the signature fruits from the Sea of Thieves. A lot of cocktails, for example, use mango or pineapple juice. The same with rice. It isn't just some ordinary rice, but coconut or pineapple rice. Burgers come with a recipe for some bacon pineapple relish, and a spicy reaper soup is made with coconut milk. You can also expect the proteins to reflect the animals of the Sea of Thieves. We have short parrot, the before mentioned plenty fin fish tacos, and grilled kraken tentacles, to name a few. The author, the aptly named Casey Baker, who is a Sea of Thieves player herself, really did her best to incorporate as much of the Sea of Thieves into these dishes while making them as tasty as possible. And fun fact, Casey also has a YouTube channel where she both shows you how to make the recipes that are and are not in the cookbook. So if you can't get enough of these meals, you can continue your journey there.
Which will be in the link underneath this video.
And she might also be a future guest on the official Unofficial Sea of Thieves podcast. So maybe subscribe if you don't want to miss out on that episode. I can already say it's going to be a great one. Some recipes I tried are the Reaper Bones coconut soup, which was packed full of flavor. I made mine without the chicken, and that's how I always look at cookbooks.
The code is more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules.
I also really liked Tina's chili with potatoes and beans. And yes, I'm on my way to become just as fat as my in-game pirate. Some dishes that I really want to try out are this Devil's Shroud inspired cake. And as a Donkey Kong fan, I have to try the banana coconut cream pie as well.
I'd shower you with coconut cream pies.
I'm also on a journey to try every cocktail in this cookbook, and that journey is going well. Like I said, I'm not a drunk, I'm just a pirate. But don't go thinking all cocktails are alcoholic, because about half of them are not. One of those I'm dying to try out is this amazing looking Shrouded Ghost cocktail. And it also got some artwork of a megalodon that has yet to appear in the game. But let's now talk about some lore that's revealed in this book. And surprise surprise, most of them have to do with food. We learn about staple dishes from various regions, but also what our favorite Sea of Thieves characters like to eat. The Pirate Lord, for example, really loves his magpie's wings, and these are quite fittingly named after the first ship to sail the Sea of Thieves. We also learn that one of the storage crates next to Mavis is probably containing some Kraken ink pasta, and we learn that Whitney the weaponsmith on Plunder Outpost is a vegetarian. The best grog on the seas comes from Tracy, and Madame Olga is a big fan of smoked banana bread pudding. We also learn that crates of exquisite spices contain the spices needed for Tina's house chili, which means these crates contain ginger, cardamom, cumin and coriander. And speaking about Tina, when Henrik came to visit her, she converted a banana barrel into a smoker to add some additional flavor to some of her dishes. Tasha, on the other hand, dug a pit in the back where she takes great care in roasting some ham, and she was also inspired by her hero Captain Briggsy to make a dish of black beans served with plantains. And the signature dish of the George and Kraken Tavern on Sanctuary is a chicken sandwich. So, if you were wondering where all those non-commissioned chickens go, you now know the answer. As you can tell, a lot of old Sea of Thieves mysteries are solved thanks to this cookbook. And I could go on and on about all these new revelations, but I will stop myself here. I think you get the idea. Not only was great care put to all these dishes, Casey also went the extra mile in making sure we can imagine these dishes being served in the Sea of Thieves world. So, before we look at some interesting renders, let me quickly mention some downsides to this cookbook. And these are just some minor nitpicks. For example, as a Dutch guy, I am not really used to measurements like ounces or cups or heating my oven in Fahrenheit. There is a conversion table at the back, but I personally prefer all my measurements to be in the metric system. Also, a lot of these recipes are written to serve large pirate crews, which makes adjusting these measurements for a solo slooper sometimes a bit of a hassle. Like I said, these are just minor complaints that aren't even specific to this cookbook, and after perfecting some of these dishes, it probably won't bother me anymore. Also, some dishes ask for equipment I don't have, like a smoker or an ice cream maker. But hey, maybe there will be some of this ice cream in my future one day. So let's now talk about some interesting renders I found. Most of the artwork used all seems pretty familiar, but there are two pieces that I have never seen before. And let's begin with this plantyfin on page 38. And you might think this is just some ordinary plantyfin that we catch while fishing, but you are wrong. Plantyfins come in 5 varieties and none of them use these colors. So is this a new fish? Can we expect a new variant when the new Hunter Skull update eventually comes out? Or is this just some concept art of an unused plantyfin? If so, how did it end up in this book and nowhere else? So many questions and no answers. At least not yet. The other render is more interesting and can be found on page 126. It depicts the Kraken attacking a galleon. Some longtime players might remember Rare promising that the Kraken would evolve over time and that players would eventually see its entire body. Both of these promises came true. The Kraken did gain some new attacks, and we are able to see this beastie in full form in a tall tale, but also when we are diving underneath the seas. But what we really wanted was a proper fight like depicted in this artwork. So, is this a hint to some upcoming Kraken update? I really hope so, but if I had to put my doubloons on it, I would say no. But still, if the Kraken would evolve even further, this concept art might give us a good indication of how that fight would look. So, in conclusion, I absolutely adore this book. I would rate it a perfect 10 out of 10 if it wasn't for this typo on page 158. Joking aside, this is probably my favorite cookbook of all time and I have quite a collection. It made me cook with ingredients I don't often use, like coconut milk and fruits like mango and pineapple. Something I also want to mention is that I really love all the props being used for all these pictures. Every page is clearly dripping with love. Or maybe I just spilled some grog. Who knows? Either way, if you like cooking and Sea of Thieves, this book is simply a must-have for your captain's cabin. So, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget, we will be interviewing Casey Baker in a future podcast episode where we will obviously discuss this cookbook even further and in much more detail. Now, go make some grog. I think you deserve it. At least, that's what I'm going to do. Until next time, and take care.